All right, welcome back to another episode of Hashtag Randomly with Ronnie Jr. But today, co-host with the most, Russell Ray. How you doing? Real Housewives of Miami. Are you ready for the recap?
I'm good. I'm so ready about this. Look, there's so much going on in this
Mm-hmm.
season, and we're only on episode 5. So
Uh,
there's definitely lots to unpack, but there's definitely nothing subtle about the drama that's happening. So I'm very
yeah,
excited about this. I mean, on the heels of someone else's divorce, but still, I'm excited
I
about the show.
know. It's so mean to be excited about this life-changing situation. But, people have looked at Lisa. She's had so much. So I think there's a
Mhm.
relatability. Most people's lives aren't as lavish as hers was and still is. And so we just want to see it. And what's
Yeah.
great about this cast, alluding to the episode 5 of season 5, Destination Divorce, these women come together for each other, in these situations. Sure, there's a lot of petty stuff. They come together. This episode in particular, Russell, I don't know what stood out to you, but maybe a little too much Julia stuff, although I do feel like I have a Julia redeeming commentary, and we'll get to that in a moment.
Okay.
And I liked people are just going to get so mad at me with my Larsa. Aligned with her no matter what from season 1, episode 1. But I didn't think that date scene was a throwaway. I thought it was cute, and I would like to know later in the episode, what do we think of the guy? We have
Okay.
to do a 1 to 10 rating on him.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I will say my most exciting part about this week's episode is the understated reality queens of this show are Gertie and Kiki, in my opinion. They really are understated in a sense. They have their spotlight, but they're very understated, and they have their one-liners, which I can always appreciate.
I was also gonna. I agree with all of that, and I was gonna say, um, going from the OGs of the cast versus like the new cast members.
Mm-hmm.
And we said it before, and we're gonna say it all the time. Dr. Nicole and Gertie as full timers fit in so good to this show. It is fresh, it is fun,
Yes.
and I like what's going on. One thing I wanted to mention from last when we did the block of 4 episodes on the premiere, we didn't mention, but I wanted to reiterate how great I like Larsa yet again. She she did the hi, I'm Beyonce, and this is Kelly Rowland. She's just fun, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that's what I like about her. She's a fun cast member. She doesn't take herself too seriously, and season 2 back, it's going down, and I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so before we do the episode, we actually wanted to step our game up a little bit. Um, Real Housewives of Miami is giving entertainment news and views and
Yes, sir.
commentary, and so we wanted to do a new segment called the Social Pop Now, where we do all things Real Housewives of Miami, maybe some Latino stories, etc., etc. Russell, take it away with the very first installment within our recap called Social Pop Now, and tell us what you got.
So Lisa and Larsa stopped by Watch What Happened this week with Andy Cohen, of course, and they were talking all things Housewives of Miami season 5. And what was interesting about this is that Andy really dove into what's really going on in Lisa's life at this time, because there's no getting around it. The media is all involved in it. Things are getting released left and right. So Andy has to address it, and he has to give the viewers something. Plus, they all want to hear what's going on. With that, Lisa wore actually Mugler, who Lisa and Larsa have been known to wear this designer very often. So as we do love in our friendships, a little friendly competition, I will say Lisa knocked it out the park this time with this look. Larsa and Lisa are neck and neck when it comes to fashion, but I'm going to have to
Yeah.
give this one to Lisa. And while they were at Watch What Happens Live and stepping out in New York, Larsa was spotted with Michael Jordan's son, Marcus Jordan. And Lisa was spotted with entrepreneur Joey Glidden. And I don't know about everybody else, but I'm here for this. I think they are both complimentary couples. No one has either confirmed or denied if there's actually a relationship going on. Larsa kind of skirted around it when it came to Watch What Happens Live. Lisa said that she's out there having fun as a girl. But I mean, you can't hide from the Paps. They're going to find you regardless. And Lenny has stepped out now with his 26-year-old international model of a girlfriend, Katarina Mazepera. And I don't know how I feel about this. Lenny, You know, Lenny, I will say I give him some wins in certain aspects, but on this one, he definitely has a type. I'm not here for it. And you know, let's unpack this. Ronnie, what do you think about all of these things that happened this week? It was a full week. And of course, we'll save Lenny for last because we want to just tear him a new one based off of what went on in this episode.
Okay.
But when we get to that, what do you think about Lisa and Larsa on Watch What Happens Live?
They were fantastic, and also going off what you were saying, they were in Mugler, even not just Lisa on Watch What Happens Live. Director Michael Bay had a party, and Larsa was in Mugler as well as Lisa. And these two girls are just fashion. Like Bravo, like they lead the pack in fashion. I mean, not that every other housewife doesn't knock it down. It's just what these two do differently, which I really like, is they I don't know, they just wear the garment. It's great. And I love to see Mugler because of all the edgy and funky designs that Terry Mugler has always had. And I think they were fantastic together. I thought it was a whole episode devoted to them. I don't even know what shows were on Bravo that day. And I actually had a tweet, and I'll show it to you. I had a tweet saying this based on watching the episode. I said, I've said it before, but Larsa Pippen and Lisa Hochstein definitely need to lead the next season of the Ultimate Girls Trip. This Real Housewives of Miami cast is some of the best reality TV on Peacock and Bravo in some years. Larsa, Lisa, and I hashtag them. And I stand by that. I would love to see them lead a show because they are both unique. They're interesting. And you know what was funny? They had a little frenemy thing going. Not really from Larsa's side, but yeah. Lisa was uneasy still on a couple things. So I'm all for it.
You're talking about Watch What Happens Live?
Yes.
Yes, there was. And there was a bit of a spat of a disagreement there. And they kind of brushed over it because they were playing nice.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they had a conversation after the show in the car about whether there was a phone call that was made or not. But I will say Andy actually surprisingly asked Lisa about the hot mic incident last week on episode 4, and Lenny actually not realizing that he was speaking into a hot mic. He said he was whispering at one point, but I mean, in reality, he was very much talking or speaking in a regular voice. He didn't whisper until his friend asked him if he was mic'd. And at this point, according to Watch What Happens Live, we know he left the show because of his aspirations to date someone younger. You know, I don't know if I love it or hate it. I do like knowing the information, but I also, in a sense, would rather watch it unfold. But I do understand that TMZ is all over everything.
It's going to be intertwined. You know why? Because it's not like reality shows of the 90s or the early 2000s.
Yeah.
When you did a show and there was something epic that happened, that was it. You walked away. The editors edited what they chose to, and that was the story. Now you could take to Twitter. You could do an IG live today, set your version of the record straight. I'm not for it. We'll get into it based on the episode. I'm not for it, but Lenny's going to do what Lenny's going to do. And whatever the case, it has made Lisa a little bit of our queen. So as hard as it is to watch this unfold, I love the way she carried herself at Watch What Happens Live. And again, it was so perfect in terms of
I mean,
Larsa being right there. Yeah.
Look at that shot. Like, look at how happy she looks. Sometimes our biggest obstacles in life actually bring us to our Phoenix moment from rising from the ashes. And I think this is her Phoenix moment, especially this look. She genuinely looks happy. She's glowing. She has a glowing aspect to her right now in this look and just on this show. And I think she's just happy to have the burden gone. I think a lot of times there's many instances where us as people often let the burdens get to us and we continue living life just going through the obstacles. But sometimes that obstacle comes right to you, smacks you in the face and throws you on the ground and lights you on fire. And I think that's what happened with Lisa, but she's definitely rising from the ashes because, I mean, who doesn't want to date an entrepreneur like Jody? I think he's a very handsome man. And I say Lisa won on this one because she definitely got an upgrade. Sure, Lenny has a young model girlfriend, but all that will phase out because in my mind, and in what I'm seeing, it's the glitz and the glam of what Lenny can provide her. She can focus on her modeling career and not have to worry about working because he's going to provide the assets. And in Lisa's in Lisa's situation, she's making her own money. She's a star in a reality show. She's now dating an entrepreneur. They're really meeting in an equal playing field. They both
Right.
have something to offer the other. One can bring attention to the other's entrepreneurship, and the other one can actually teach Lisa more business insight and give her a sense of business to expand herself from Housewives and really help her grow her empire.
I have a question that would be great for in the comments. Because my answer is a hard no. I don't want Lenny's girlfriend on the show. You know what I mean? Like you said, he kind of left the show, but there's always next season. They always want to bring someone in to kind of get their side of the story. I'm not for the mess. My question in the comments though is, would you want to see Lenny back on some level with the girlfriend? I don't think negotiation wise Lisa would let that happen, but it is a question. Moving on to the second part of the question, and then we could wrap up here and get started with the recap. Since they both wear Mugler, we were talking about that. There is a tweet that we saw that we thought was funny. Who wore it better? Lisa at Watch What Happens Live, or Larsa in more of a peach apricot version? What do you think of the two? What would you choose?
I say fashion and color wise, Lisa won this one, especially because it's the holiday season. We're right around the corner from Christmas, and she wore the Santa hat, which makes it kind of cutesy, but she's glowing. She has, she has the hairstyle that goes along with it. It's just falling beautifully off of her shoulders. She's really feeling herself at this moment, but notice she still has on her ring. So I don't know if that's a dig at Katharina, but I mean, I'm here for it as well, because of that giant ring with that amazing outfit is just giving me life, because not only is she saying, I won this battle, look at me, I'm a woman, hear me roar, I'm beautiful, I'm a goddess, but she also is still like, I got this ring and you got to come get it from me if you want it.
I agree. It's once you go through the pain, what she went through, and we'll see all season, now she's back in the ball's in her court. She's kind of on some, if I want him back, I'm gonna get him. She doesn't want him back, but and we don't want to see it. And in regards to them too, I like what Larsa was wearing, but I feel like it might have been one of those looks that look better in real life than on camera. So that's what I'll go. Hey, this has been Social Pop Now, where you get all the entertainment, fashion, pop culture all rolled into one, hosted by Russell Raymond. So that was a lot of fun for Real Housewives of Miami and Entertainment Report, and we did that thing. We did it. Russell, Destination Divorce. Let's talk about the episode. Why don't you take it away with the beginning of the recap here?
Let's start right off the top with Julia. We caught a sense of Julia with the past 4 episodes that she misses her daughters. She doesn't know if they're going to come back for the final years of school, or one of her daughters is going to come back for the final years of schooling. It's kind of a dead end storyline. I believe 80 to 90% of parents definitely want their kids around as often as possible before they become empty nesters. But in my mind and in what I want to see on the show, there's no weight to this story. Sure, it's causing problems in the house because Julia doesn't want to be there in an empty house, and she wanted it for her kids. And I mean, there's really not much to talk about there. You just kind of graze over it, and that's it. I think she needs to figure something out that that works better in her favor. I really feel like they need to dive in. Now we're in episode 5. By episode 6, we need to see this modeling career happening. Like, that's enough with the children's storyline. It's really not bringing anything to the show. But the modeling aspect of her renewing her career at this age, and in a time where everything is so inclusive and different shapes, colors, and sizes, and even amputees, are really prospering in today's market. So I really want to see where she goes with this, because she definitely loves her body, but it's also a beautiful thing to have someone who's carried a child really embrace that body and to go model and continue with that career path. Because before, once you were 30 years old, your modeling career was out the door.
That is the beauty of where we're at today, is that everyone gets a shot still, no matter what. So she needs to step into it. She needs to say, I am on a hit show. I'm married to Martina. I mean, all the momentum is in her favor. And we've said it before, and we'll say it again. unless they are actually breaking up, I don't want to see any Martina and Julia, having issues. The beauty of Martina, especially from last season, is that she was fun.
Yeah.
And if we only have to see her absorbing Julia's stuff, that's going to be challenging. Now, the one thing that I have somewhat sympathy or even just opening my heart a little bit with Julia is maybe she was in, because her history is her history.
Mhm.
And, there's a little bit of like, this happens to people where it's like, go, 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 go. Before you know it, you wake up and you're, this person of a certain age and this is your life. She had I would say would be a detachment issue because of the sad story with her son and even the stuff that went with that. We will not, mention.
Yeah.
Detachment issues she might have. And it might be one of those things where she was her life was just flourishing so much.
Mhm.
And now this is just a representation of like how lonely and isolated it feels when you don't get through your stuff. But again, we've seen enough of it. I agree with Russell fully. We'll move right on because it was nice to see her daughter. I think it was cool. Like I enjoyed it too. But at the same time, this is about enough because whether she wants her daughter on the scooter, whether she wants her daughter or whether she knows her daughter's school, like it just is stuff that's like cute, but it's not for somebody who's maybe the 5th most important person on the show. No diss.
if this storyline was on the Bravo app, like just like in the blogs or behind the scenes, I wouldn't mind it because it gives a little bit of context to the way that she's acting or what she's going through. But what we really want to see is and by we, I mean myself, the viewers, the fans, we want to see the modeling career take off. We want to see the roadblocks that she comes across, but also the big moments that she has. So, I mean, Peacock and Bravo, like you got to just continue on without the empty nester syndrome. Like that's a natural, normal thing. Everybody goes through it that has children. But what not everybody goes through is being a supermodel and then having this second act of a career at an age after you've already bared a child and are in your middle-aged prime time. And we really want to see middle-aged women prosper and succeed. And so I really, really, really need this storyline to just speed up and get to that point already.
I'd even be more inclined to see them, the two of them, Julia and Martina, showcase the story of, Martina has always been, she's the success story. She's in the limelight. Julia is, the wife. Now Julia's on this hit TV show. Her modeling career may come back. I would even like to see that more than what we're seeing. I don't want to see the negative. We've seen it. Let's move on. Russell, what else do you have in regards of the next part of this episode?
Let's head into Lisa's story. They put down their dog, but obviously we know Lisa's having issues. And I felt so bad watching her confessional this time around, stating that, she really has to deal with her kids and the loss of the dog. She presents the ashes to her son and kind of explains what death is. And mind you, like we all have that one experience that we're going to remember. I did have my own pet at one time. Her name was Pom Pom, and she was an Alaskan Eskimo. And we had to put her down when I was 10. And I still remember Pom Pom to this day. I love that dog. So the fact that Lenny is taking no control or even joining Lisa on this journey is an issue for me because these are still your kids. So you need to go through these motions and lessons with them so that they can see your example of how you navigate loss in a sense. Like a mother's love is everything, as we know, but also like these boys have a father in their life, or her kids have a father in their life, and we want to see the role that he plays. You can't just be the busy doctor or lawyer or just anything. You can't be that anymore. Like Dr. Nicole does not give that excuse with her kid. So there's no reason that Lenny needs to be giving that excuse with his.
The only contrast to that somebody would say is Dr. Nicole's on the show. She's not the spouse of someone on the show. You know what I mean?
But also with the Real Housewives of New Jersey, we've seen the husbands very much interact with big moments when it.
I wasn't defending him. He's 1 foot out already. When
I feel you, but he's also not. He's not main character energy. So I understand where you're coming from with that.
Did you just say he has a little dick?
Maybe I did.
You did. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
We're not going to talk about its shape or size, but I would imagine that it's not very flattering.
Yeah. Yeah, Lisa hasn't had the O face in some time, regardless of a situation or not. Oh, we are terrible. No, I'm joking. Um, yeah, he does need to be around for that. What I took from the situation though was more how it there was the synergy between loss of the relationship and then the actual loss. And then
Mhm.
at first I was thinking, wow, these producers are so good because they probably had this scene, you know, at a different time, and they just edited in right now to kind of
Yeah.
make us feel more sad. But no, this was happening, I suppose, in real time. I mean, it may have been a different time, but it was happening in real time. You know, she said it. I lost my dog, and the divorce is happening, and the new girlfriend. But to have for us to watch as viewers, we already are feeling all the sympathy and the empathy for Lisa, but
Mhm.
now even more so. I mean, her with her children, you know, like it was just could not be a better scene with her articulating viewpoints, her viewpoints, and so on and so forth. And it just felt very loving. It's something that the other shows should take a note on is give us more shows where there's personal stories that make sense. And when
Mhm.
they do, then the drama will make sense too. That's
You
why
know
this
what? And
franchise is good.
I really appreciate too the fact that she allowed her son to navigate the emotion in the way that he needed to understand it. And so the fact that he wanted to keep their pup's ashes in his room on his shelf that's closed, like
Yeah.
he's kind of understanding like this is important. We need to protect it. After she explained like we can't open it. So the fact that it's in
I
his room in a
know.
safe place is really kind of
I was so touched by
it's cute.
the curiosity of the innocence that you have, and I can recall the first time I ever, as a kid growing up, learned what is. I remember I asked my mom. I said, "Oh, maybe this is what it made my the scene feel relatable." I
Uh-huh.
was about I had to be about 6 years old or 7 years old because it was I remember where I was living, and then we had moved when I was seven.
Yeah.
So I remember telling my mom I remember going to sleep, and my brother went to sleep real. He was able to go to sleep very easily. I could not. I'm tossing and turning.
Mhm.
And the grown-ups are, you know, having fun. I wanted to stay up with the grown-ups. And so I'm sitting in the bed thinking I got to go to sleep. And it just felt like it was dark and it was lonely. And so then it made me think of death. And so I said I said the next day, I go, Mom, what happens? Like, what happens when you die? And like, when is that? Or how does that work? And she gives me like, you know, a good motherly answer, like Lisa did to the son.
Mhm.
But then I kept saying, well, how long does that happen? I still get chills to say that today. How long is death? And it was like, well, it's forever. And then my mom had great, you know, Catholic, you know, things to kind of contrast that. But I kept saying, well, how long? How long is like forever? Like when does that end? And
Yeah.
it just made me feel. I mean, the kid I believe is younger than 6 years old, but I felt
Yeah.
so much compassion for all sides. Sorry to make it personal, but that just really did make me feel that way.
No, but that's what we want as viewers. We want to be able to relate in a deeper sense of, you know, we're not the only ones who face loss. We're not the only ones who, and like grant you, like it's been a little bit hypocritical from saying what I said about Julia. But what I'm mentioning with Julia is really empty nester is like, oh man, I need to find a hobby. I need to find something to do. My kids are gone. I miss my kids. I'm wondering what they're doing. I can't protect them. Like, it's just very like standard, boom, 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 boom. But uh facing loss of animals, people, like just anything close to us, in a sense, we want to know that it's relatable to grieve in certain ways, or that it's
Yeah.
okay to grieve or to have these moments or these deep moments. And it's something more meaningful and something that we will all encounter where it's going to cut us deep,
Hmm.
you know. And
And
so I
and I don't.
appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't have any children, so it was just something to like, you know, how would it be to have to explain that to your child? You know what I mean? We do got to get moving on. Lots of really fun stuff. Dr. Nicole, she's taking people on boats and airplanes. This was fun. Dr. Nicole had a great episode.
Dr. Nicole, let's just how do I unpack this? Dr. Nicole was giving life with her outfit. Um with one of her outfits, mind you. Like she not only does she work at a hospital, but she also is like, I am gonna wear this thong bikini and y'all are gonna love it and y'all are gonna love all of my assets. And I'm like, good for you, because your clients are gonna see this, your patients are gonna see this, like your staff is gonna see this. But the fact that you can rock it and just really there's no downside to it. Like, I say props to you.
She's kind of been assertive the whole way through. She keeps it funky all the time. She doesn't act out of character, but she holds her own. And, I think if I was a new cast member, though it's her second season, you sometimes there's kind of a hierarchy of, the original cast or whatever. But no, she gets in there and gives an opinion no matter what. I really like her. She's doing well. And it's kind of cute and it's so casual. She's like, yeah, we're going to be on a yacht today, or this, and this, or we're going to fly. Anthony's going to fly us over there. They're going to go to Key West, which you've been to Key West? Yes.
I haven't been to Key West.
I went to Key West for a wedding, a family wedding. And it was
my family doesn't get married. They just get knocked up.
Oh. This has been a Russell Raymond exclusive. he is keeping it.
They don't.
Speaking of keeping it funky, okay,
they just don't waste money on a wedding. Just have the baby, and then we don't even have to worry about getting married, because then it's easier.
He said, just put it.
If need be.
The down payment on the house is more important. Okay, I have been to a wedding in Key West. It was my cousin. It was the one cousin that lives in New York, and his family's from New York. So rather than doing a New York or a California wedding, they did Key West. Can I tell you? And you know how great it is, or you've always heard. It's so cute. I can't wait to what we're gonna get ahead in store on Real Housewives of Miami, because I really enjoyed it. I've always wanted to go back. Only went once, but it is such a great place. Yeah.
I've been to multiple places in Florida, and they've all been gorgeous, especially because I 9 times out of 10 stay at a beachside resort.
Oh, come on now.
So I've been to some pretty exclusive,
flexing,
beautiful places in Florida, including Miami, which also was just ranked one of the best places to work and live. And I 100% agree with that. I think it's a gorgeous place. They all have beautiful skin because of humidity. The housing market costs less to live by the water than it does in California. The weather is just as beautiful. You might have to deal with a hurricane or two here and there, but they've learned how to get around that. And if you're new to the neighborhood, they'll tell you what's up. But the work aspect surprised me. And then when I started looking into it, it's a hot market for good paying careers. So I'm like, I'm here for it. Like, long live Miami. Jennifer Lopez and Gloria Estefan, Fat Joe, and a lot of other celebrities have been raving about it for years. But now we're actually getting to see the inside of Star Island and like what actually goes on, and the golf carts, and just the fabulosity of living in there.
Even in the TV show, I'm always fascinated by a Miami backdrop. Absolutely.
Yes. I don't love traveling to Florida because trying to pick my words wisely.
But
if the Panhandle just detached from America and just went on and did their own thing, I would not mind.
All right, moving on.
A certain type of person, and we're just going to leave it at that. Oh, what did you think about Anthony Lopez #2? The yacht, the captain.
Okay, so breaking this down, Anthony Lopez #2 was funny. It was cute. I think Dr. Nicole, she made it warm in her confessional. Adriana got to flirt. This was prime Adriana. Good television, because like I said, the bar was a little low for her, so I'm going to always give her her kudos. And I think Adriana's learning her place on the show a little bit. Not that anyone is in a place, but I think Adriana's having fun. But he was no regular Dr. Nicole Anthony Lopez, because this one right here, we will take an aside, we will take a moment. I don't know what it is.
You know what? It's the beard. It's the beard. It's the attitude. It's the radiance. It's the smile. It's the eyes. It's the fact that his hair isn't overdone. It's not slicked back. It's really just like it's really naturally flowing.
Yeah.
And I mean,
now
come on, he got things going for him. He has a yacht.
We could say money. Pilot. Sure, we could say money, pilot, all we want. He's probably BDE all day, because he's so fun. Remember the thing that I said I liked about him last episode, or one of our episodes? I said I liked how he's like really warm with the way he talks. He's not, a lot of straight men are very protective of the way they speak on someone. And when Dr. Nicole was talking about who was invited, it was like, oh, well, Gertie's bringing her husband. And he's like, oh, yeah, he's a sweetheart. He's great. Oh,
Yeah.
and so-and-so's bringing Todd. Oh, he's a sweetheart. He's great. He talks in that warm way. He's also very sarcastic in the sense that we didn't mention it. But he goes, oh gosh, Larsa is gonna come to this event. Gosh, I hope she doesn't bring I hope she doesn't try to steal someone's husband. I mean, I know that was like tacky, but you could sense, I think Larsa herself would even be like just a ha ha ha, because I love people who could jab like that. You know, it's that concept of like the times I've lived in New York, about the 7 years. New York City is very like, if you're jabbing with somebody, you kind of like them, and if you're not, you don't really care for them. So he has that energy where he talks a little shit, but that means you like him. You know, that means he's enjoyable. And we'll get to the parts later. But what I loved about him in the pilot seat, and he was kind of, you know, like, let's go, we gotta go, you know, and he wasn't being like, you know, submissive in any way. He's like, this is not my job. If you want me to do this, like, we gotta go now. Like, I would have left already. I have other things to do. And some people look at that as like, oh, that's like a negative thing or a mean thing. No, it's raising your voice sometimes, telling you what's what is, you know, Russell knows.
It's necessary. I had a moment like that in Chicago yesterday, or the day before yesterday, so I get it.
Judge me for what I say in the context of the situation, but don't judge because I've literally like gotten a little loud and had to tell somebody where to go and how to get there. But in terms of, he is given a sex appeal that I just don't know where it came from. And when I'm watching this show, I'm like, Dr. Nicole, you better.
You know what he's giving though on the real tea. You know what he's giving? He's giving Patrick. He's very giving much. He is very much giving Patrick Dempsey.
Okay.
From Grey's Anatomy.
Maybe
it's the hair, it's the look, it's the whole like way that he presents himself. There's just something so positive about that.
Yeah. So, and I know people will make it like it's a money thing only. It's the yacht, it's the boat, it's the house, it's the pilot, you know. Sure, but it's confidence too. Anyways, I stand by that. I think he's cute. It is what it is. We're gonna move on because we do gotta go, actually.
Well, actually, let's just go right into them staying at Key West. I mean, what I appreciate about this group is when any type of news is released, they all start screaming in shock.
That was so
when
good.
Lisa mentioned that there's a whole nother man involved, and Gertie and Kiki's reactions were just everything. They like hollered like I've never seen a housewife holler before. Like it was like a hype crew. Like, tell us more. We want to see it.
They were there I mean, that was what was weird about it. And referring to what I just said about Anthony and them saying Lisa's late, she's always late. We see that. On one hand, before it all happened and hit the fan, and we knew for sure, you could be like, oh, she's late. I'm pissed off. What's up? Like Anthony said, like Nicole said, everyone was kind of like, come on, get it together. But I love how the energy changed from being like, Lisa, what the F? Let's go. You know, you were not feeling well the other day. Now you're late. Like to have a little attitude towards it. And hopefully Lisa didn't get mad that that's how they were talking. However, to switch up so much and to have your people's back, like to have your girlfriend's back, like that's what the sisterhood of these shows should be. And you are so right. It was like noises. I think I seen something on Twitter. It was like, oh, I love the way Alexia got real Cuban in that moment.
Like, yeah, she did.
These girls,
said, no. Let me tell you.
These girls had each other's. Yes, these girls had each other's back in such a way that it felt so much more real and authentic than a lot of the other franchises, and I appreciated it so much. Gertie's reaction was good, and their reactions are gonna be good. Gertie is married for 20-something years. Yeah. Larsa's opinion is gonna be good too, because she's like, you know, season one, she was like, I'm the married gal. You know, I've been married for, you know, at that time maybe 18, 19 years, 17 years. You never know what your future is, and I just really love the way they came together. And lo and behold, there was Dr. Nicole right there saying, well, this and this. Like, she had her back, but again, it's not like Dr. Nicole sits on the sideline. She like expresses an opinion, and I like that. Marisol was fun with the drinks. You know, she's like,
always,
oh, listen, a drink will help anything.
Yeah. She's like, make it stronger.
Yeah.
Which I can appreciate, a double or triple shot. I may have not done that in Puerto Vallarta a couple times. So I get it, Marisol. I get it. But I mean, I think it was great that she finally opened up, because you can't bottle everything up and just be around your crew and just not fill them in on what's going on. And what I appreciate about these girls and women is that prior to Lisa showing up, they actually, in a sense, defended her. Like, this is out of character. This is abnormal. What's going on? I mean, over an hour and a half of being late is a little excessive, but you know, she goes into explaining that her nannies have been inconsistent after the other one broke her wrist, as we saw in the episode. But what I really want to do is I want to now dissect Lenny in every aspect that we possibly can, because
may we say, we don't want to spend this much time on Lenny because this is a celebration of these ladies.
Yes.
But this was the episode that just felt very uncomfortable.
Yes.
In terms of him and his new shenanigans.
You know what? I have a few things to say about this whole situation. Okay. So
the first thing is we have decided that we would what is the term?
Smash.
He could put his shoes under my bed anytime. My aunt used to say that. So the question is, could he put his shoes under your bed, Russell Raymond?
Absolutely not. Absolutely. You want to know why? Because it looks like someone got a clothespin and clipped his whole face back.
Oh no.
And it feels like once he gets into bed, he has to release that, and then it all just comes forward.
Oh my God! Not the shaming of his physical appearance on our show.
Because if I did that,
okay, well,
my skin, I would be flawless. I could be a model.
Okay.
Anyways, with that being said, good for Katharina that she's dating someone that can provide her a lavish and beautiful lifestyle for the time being, because we all know it's good for now, but not for long. And
like she's here for a moment. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's here for now. She's not here for long. She's here to get her things, get her notoriety, level up, because Lenny is in a sense like a booster on a rocket. He's there to elevate her, and then she's gonna drop him off, and she's gonna continue excelling. Not that she hasn't built her own career already, but it puts her name in the news. Now we see that she's in Daily Mail.
That's why I say I don't want her,
TMZ.
I don't want her to be on next season. I don't want to see that. We don't need to see that.
I don't think she'll end up being on any type of season. There might be an interaction at one point. And actually I'm gonna dig and I'm gonna find out if they're filming it and if this has happened. Because Lisa has mentioned that they have run into each other. She already told Lenny she didn't want to see it in public, as she's mentioned on Watch What Happens Live. But I mean, you really can't stop someone from living their life. But Lenny, I will say, I respect the fact that he wasn't sleeping sexually with Lisa.
You did mention that last episode.
Her health, because I'm a very big advocate for protecting each other's health. And you and I know, being in the gay community, that's what devastated everybody in our community in the 70s, 80s, and 90s until they really figured out what PrEP was and all of that. And we can unpack that on another day. But the fact that he had enough respect for her to respect giving her any sort of STDs or whoever else he was sleeping with besides Katharina is a respectable trait. However,
get that however, because he's slipping. Oh,
as a
real
father,
quick before you lay
every responsibility to raise your children, to be there for your children, to alleviate your children's parents. This is your child's mother. She has every right to go live her life and to go enjoy herself as a woman, but you're a father, and we see this more often than less. The fathers are dropping the balls on their children, and you have a responsibility. When you sign up to become a parent, you also sign up for all those moments in life, to get up in the middle of the night to feed your child when they're crying as a baby, to change their diapers, to pick them up when they scrape their elbows and when they hurt themselves, to be there for your child when they need someone to take care of them instead of having a nanny. Having nannies is a very luxury thing, but when you sign up for children, you need to be there for your child. And there's no excuse. And I felt when Lisa called him and he stated that he really wanted to go play tennis was a very pathetic comeback, because I feel like it was him trying to get out of being a father to go hang out with Katharina, which is absolute garbage. Like, sports or playing golf or tennis or anything else as a recreational thing and not as a job, to pick that over your children really shows who you are as an individual. And I think that was bottom of the barrel scum of a move.
Well, the views expressed by Russell are his, because you laid in. No, it's good. He needs that. He deserved all of the bullshit. And secondly, I feel like because this happens, people fall out of love or they go find something younger and hotter for whatever reason. The girl, I believe, is only 26 years old. Maybe that's what gets him off. But I would feel like when you do this, at some point you've got a part of you that does feel sympathy for your shitty move. You're not going to stand, you're going to still double down on it, but like it would feel like the time that you would be the best to Lisa. You know what I mean? Like I already blew up your life.
Yep.
I'm going to at least, fine, I want to go play tennis. I play tennis all the time. You didn't bug me in our entire marriage, but I'm blowing up your life basically. So maybe I hold it down for you right now. Who knows? Maybe he assumed like, this was personal thing or whatever, but it wasn't personal because literally, I guess they're having problems getting help and having a nanny, be there with the kids. Either way, you would have expected him to be more warm and more giving.
Yeah.
And maybe he didn't know he was on camera in this thing where she was calling him, but
he knew he was on camera.
I don't know what the rules are in that regard. And even if, yes or no, it's, it was rough. He eventually, and the girl, they're eventually going to speak out on some level and give their side of the story. But right now, it's all Team Lisa. Can I do one little comment though? Enjoying our show, we have got Selena Lindemann laughing, and I assume the laughing was either at it was probably at the way you read what's his name, Lenny.
What's his name? I like that better. We're gonna call him what's his name.
Oh yeah, I dismiss everybody when you're not on the up and up. And thank you, Selena, for the comment. And enjoying the show and laughing. I hope you're laughing with us and not at us, but you never know. Nonetheless, I always do that. I always do that. It's just very much dismiss you. I'm going to dismiss you if you're not, like in the mix of it or whatever, or there's an issue. And he has caused issues, so he's going to be called what's his name?
Take your kids with you. Plenty of parents take their kids with them when they go do things recreationally. Get your kid a tennis racket, get both of your kids a tennis racket, and let them hit a ball at each other while you're playing at the other court.
But he probably wasn't playing. He probably wasn't doing that though.
He was playing with some sort of balls, but I'll tell you, he wasn't playing with a tennis ball.
Okay. All right. Yes.
He's playing with the racket.
Oh man. Right. Okay. Yeah, Lenny, this is not the episode for you. This is just not, we don't really want to know about the girl. We don't. And we're going to see
life is not the life for him because he's also not very attractive. So
yeah.
We don't want to see you on camera. You're not attractive. You're passive aggressive. What else have we seen? You got mood swings. So you must be on steroids or HGH because at that age, with that metabolism, I promise you, he's not shaping up with trainers that quickly, because if he works as much as he does, and I'm just putting two and two together, because as we know, I'm a very much a gym enthusiast. If I'm putting two and two together with the amount of time that he works and the effort that he's putting into his training, he would not be cutting up as fast as he's cutting up, even given having a clean diet, because we see it all the time and time again. Viola Davis, Liam and Chris Hemsworth, they're putting in hours at the gym, and they are dedicating hours a day at the gym, 5 to 6 hours a day to get that body and be camera ready. And they're doing this in 5 months. So
maybe he's putting those hours into Katarina, and that's what's helping.
Cardio.
I'm joking.
I mean,
it's all bad. It any other things you want to mention on this episode, but it really was a good episode. It is hard, like you said earlier, to be like, wow, it was such a good episode at the demise of someone's marriage, but there were redeeming qualities in terms of the way the gals got together. I want to see what's going to happen with Key West and kind of the regrouping of the situation.
Yeah.
And all the other storylines that we're going to see, I'm excited about. Alexia and Gertie were on the up and up right now, and they're still kind of talking about, Gertie said, I want to be your friend versus somebody who works for you. And it seems cool now, but we know in the previews that it's going to go to a place. So I'm excited to see where that goes. And probably some of the funniest moments ever on this episode. See, Marisol knows what to do on the show. She says, as soon as they said a hot Carl, I knew for sure that Alexia would not be able to say Carl. And she's like, I could say Carol, like the woman, the lady, but Carl, Carl, I can't say Carl.
But again, a very Teresa Giudice moment, because Teresa can't pronounce words either.
she really is a version of Teresa. I mean, she's so different in so many ways, but I think Marisol knows how to turn it up. She knows how to make a scene. Larsa just gives it, just on her fabulousness, and Alexia, as one of the other OGs, she gives it based on, she doesn't really care what Twitter thinks or what the audience thinks. I think she just says what's on her mind, and it's such a refreshing quality, even if you don't agree with all of it, And she's a newlywed, so I'm excited to see how she hangs out in Key West with the girls.
What I'm excited about come next episode, so come episode 6, what I'm most excited about is I feel like this is the moment to have a messy girls trip. And we all love a messy girls trip where you're falling over into the bushes on the sand, can't get up. Like, I hope that this is what this turns into, because that's what Lisa needs. And I hope the girls rally around her and really, really get her going. But also they just like release and enjoy themselves while they're there, because there isn't a mutual enemy that they all have. And I think that they should level up by that mutual enemy by just having the best time of their life in Key West. I mean, and you're in a beautiful place. You got chauffeured over there, whether it was by plane or by, SUV, but at the same time, you're living in luxury and you're living your best life. So I want to see them have a classic, messy Housewives weekend.
Could not agree more. Now, I want to get to the bottom of this. In our comments, Selena also wrote smash. Now, we said, would you smash or pass? And we were talking about Lenny, who has all the money, but he's a dirty, rotten scoundrel.
No. Selena's referring to when I said smash on Anthony.
Okay, or was it Anthony? Okay, Selena. So is it smash for Anthony, which we all say yes?
I mean, but like this has multiple levels, so definitely we can both smash Anthony and Lenny, but smash Lenny in a different type of way than smash Anthony.
Now we're all
getting. I would
this.
Smash any Lenny with what is it? Looney Tunes. When the brick falls out the sky, we could smash him that way. It would be fine.
Now we're all getting syphilis. Here we go. Thank you for commenting there, Selena. That's very fun stuff. We're gonna get you to watch a lot of Real Housewives of Miami with us. What a season though! What a show! It's shaping up to be. Lots of people are like really getting into it, which I love, and it's real cool. Well, I will mention real quickly. If you want to support us, that's always an option. I know Larsa's watching every one of our shows. Well, hey Larsa, how you doing?
Larsa, hey girl.
Hey girl. Hey.
I'm ready.
Make sure you check out our websites, russellraysilva.com, randomlyronniejr.com. But if you want to support me in a monetary value, patreon.com/randomlyronniejr is tons of fun. More content will be placed on that. I just wanted to make a mention of that. And if you want to go over to Peacock after you watch, on Peacock's streaming platform, after you watch Real Housewives of Miami, I should tell you that Russell Ray is on a TV show that's on the Peacock streaming platform. It's when the platform just came out. It's called Create the Escape. It's like escape room. It's with parents and kids. It's really fun. It's a wholesome show, and I think you'll like it. And he was the host/design expert on that show. And now he's doing our show. So this is like top tier talent, because you already know I am amazing. So the two of us, Ronnie and Russell, the slogan is, you just need a little R&R, is what I always say. What else do you have to say? Otherwise, I think we could wrap up a little bit right about now. What are you thinking?
I think, I appreciate everybody that goes and watches my show. If you want to have a Lenny parent moment and you don't want to engage with your children and you just want to dismiss them off to someone else,
jeez,
I'll occupy them by them watching my show.
Why does he do this?
So if you want to pass your kids off and not pay attention to them, they can pay attention to my show on Peacock with Create the Escape. I had a really good time. Emmy Award winner and executive producer Sue Side is just an amazing individual for even giving me the opportunity to be part of such a beautiful television show, because there was so much love that went into this. But I mean, besides that, y'all catch up with us, comment in the section, let us know what you want to hear. Let me know if I should ease up on the gas a little bit, or if I should go harder and put it in sport mode when it comes to.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna say more.
Well, we love that. We love more. More is more.
I was gonna say it's not
less is more.
It's not less is more. It's more is more. Okay, last question though.
Tell me.
What did you think of the whole Larsa scene. Obviously, she's so good at reality TV. I'm going to tell you what I loved about it because I get so freaking tired of everybody saying she's like a Kardashian. Mind you, she's been in the limelight for years before. Not that they weren't, because they were attached to the trial of the century. But like, she's been hobnobbing with everybody for years. Like, this is nothing new to her. Season one, I don't know where she stood in terms of when she became friends with the Kardashians, but season one, she did her own thing. Like, it wasn't Kardashian-esque. Anyways, let me defend the queen just for a second. Hold on. I need a photo of the queen while we talk about the queen. There she is. Oh, shitting
That's a
on
daddy
him.
pose too.
She is shitting on him. What did you think about the date? Because I felt like it was so cute. I know that she knows how to do reality TV, but what I really liked is the first season, we saw a little bit more like dismissive energy, like just like, you know, I love the line she says in season one. She says, the producer goes, well, how do you feel to know that, you're divorced and, you still got it, like you're still fly or whatever the case. And she goes, mind you, it's never went away or something like that. And she's like, take notes. Like, she's just always been that. And that's the only thing we've really seen. This second season, we're seeing a lot more humor, like the way she laughs, like the way she said, I'm Beyonce. And I really felt like even though the date was no good for her, she still didn't like diss him. You know what I mean? A lot of people would have done that, especially on TV. She was like, cool, maybe she went home with him. I mean, that's her prerogative. We on this show, we do not shame anyone with a healthy sexual appetite. Question for you, Russell. Would you let him put his shoes under your bed? The guy, what was his name? Ari, I think it was.
Yeah.
What are we thinking about him?
I wouldn't say no.
Did you like the scene?
I did. I thought it was really cute. I thought it was cute how they went in the back and actually made their food. And I just think Larsa's in such a good place. And she mentioned it on Watch What Happens Live. She doesn't need, and like, this is a slippery slope. She doesn't need anyone to bring anything extensive to the table because she has her own. If they have it, it's a bonus. But I think she's more after love than anything this time around. And if they got it, they got it. And if they don't, but they have the charm, the charisma, and the heart behind it, I think she really has been part of that big baller life and just the pretentiousness. And we're getting a comment from Selena Evans that she was under the bed for me. Look.
My aunt used to say that, and my aunt was so funny. In fact, I was talking with a family member recently, and they were saying that they were telling this aunt, like, hey, one of the days that family picks on each other, Thanksgiving, let's say, and they said, oh, hey, to this aunt, you're putting on a little bit of weight, and she got her arms rubbed herself and goes, I've not gotten any complaints. So it's just the way you carry yourself. You know what I mean? And so this aunt used to always say when she saw somebody cute, she was like, he could put his shoes under my bed anytime. Okay. And so I feel like that's gonna be a thing that we say with some of these men over here. Okay, Anthony with the jet, where are you?
Flying on his way to come get us. Okay.
I am such a dirty birdie on the holiday season nonetheless. Ronnie, get it together, please.
Look, but besides that, the scene was cute. I think Larsa, it's so good to see Larsa in a good place. Her kids are doing well. She's doing well. She has a nice place. When you can move on, and I believe Oprah re-quoted this from someone at some point, you forgive others for yourself, not for them. So the fact that she forgave Scotty and she can just continue with life, she really did it for her, and she's embraced that moment. And now she's moving forward with her life, and she's prospering in every way. She has multiple businesses. She has a hit show on an amazing platform. NBC Universal is like top tier. Everybody strives to be part of Comcast and NBC Universal.
They enough got my demo tape.
They got mine.
They have mine. And, Ronnie, with all his radio experience, I am ready. Did you see, and they're adding more content. Did you see that they're also putting out, and it may be different every episode, but they did Larsa and Marisol. They did a rewatch of the episode. Did you see that?
No. Where was this?
It was on the streaming platform. Yeah, it was on Peacock. Yeah.
But was it at the end of the episode, or did you have to click on something else?
It may have came out a day or two later. Like, it was just like bonus content. To what you're saying, everyone wants to be there, which I would tell you, Peacock, hello, I know you're watching. Hi, Peacock. we're ready. We're available for hire.
Peacock, look, we already got one hit show. Let's go ahead and make another one.
Yeah, and if you want to make it rain on that Patreon. I'm just trying to I'm trying to tell you. No, I'm being silly.
Yeah, they already got my account info because they've already sent me multiple a few checks.
Yeah.
So go ahead, go ahead. You know what? Let's work on something now. Bring me on the Housewives. You know what? What we need is the gay husbands of something. And I think Long Beach is a great start.
I mean,
in the LBC.
Everyone, when they do an LA show, the LA shows are always like West Hollywood only. I do agree. Something up the coast, Manhattan Beach is also very cute. Long Beach, something along the whole harbor area, coast area. I mean, just,
it's a vibe.
I mean, we know everybody out here.
We really do. We really do.
And we know everybody in New York too. And we know everyone in Miami too. Well, we don't know everybody in Miami, but we're getting acclimated and we want Gertie to invite us to a Gertie event. Hi, Gertie. Yeah. I know Gertie's watching. Hi, Gertie.
Hey, girl.
Yeah. Oh, I hate ending the episode because they're always so fun. But thank you for watching. If you could do us a favor, I hate to say this because I always thought it was so corny before I did a channel, but it'll be said and it'll be shown that people in the high numbers will watch the show, but a lot of them won't comment or subscribe, and that doesn't do anything for helping the show. So can you fucking do it?
Look, like, comment, subscribe, follow. Go find our Instagrams, our TikToks, our Twitch, our
all the stuff.
Twitters.
Oh, he was gonna say just for fans. I mean, it's for my feet only. I swear, it's for my feet only.
I'll send little pictures of me with my little stockies on.
It's only for my feet.
But like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you want. Slip into my DMs and let me know what's up. I'm Russell Ray.
Okay, he's completely opposite of me. Do not talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. Just watch the show. Shut up. Put it in the comments, and maybe I'll see you next week. Maybe. Joking. No, this has been a really great episode. Real Housewives of Miami, great franchise. I'm looking forward to seeing what Real Housewives of New Jersey does in terms of the trailer. That's probably going to come out really soon. Real Housewives of Potomac is a great series. So I watched that one as well, and I may be doing a season recap of that one. But we're here right now. It's great to, as Russell always says, profile this show because it is a show that does feature, not only the Miami-isms of it all, but the great stories of these Latin women, these Latinas that are just like, they're fun and funny and they're giving it. I feel like I complimented them enough, but it is what it is. Shout out to the Queen Larsa. We love you. And that wraps up the show. Thanks, Russ. I'll talk to you next week.
All right, Ronnie Jr.
All right. Later.
Peace.
Hey, Ronnie Jr.